morning. It's officially been a week. Let's see where I'm at. So this morning I woke up and the scale said I was 174. I don't know how accurate it is, and here's my feeling on this whole weight thing. I am much leaner than when I started. I can tell. There's been significant progress, and if the scale says I'm at a similar weight as when I started, I'm going to take that as a success and say that I'm building muscle and losing fat at the same time. So that's actually ideal. All that matters is how I look, and I know from looking that I'm losing fat. So whatever weight I am, if I'm staying the same weight, that's actually the greatest news ever, because I'm bulking again in 3 weeks on September 1st. So regardless of what the scale says, things are going great. I am losing fat. I am getting less and less hungry every day. And I did cardio today. And I'm having some power oatmeal as I do, and today is shoulder and ab day. So here's just a full pot of cooked quinoa that I made. It's probably about 8 servings of quinoa, like 8 cups. I make things in bulk, put it in the fridge, so that I only have to cook certain grains once a week. Lunchtime, this is also going to be my pre-1 hour before workout meal. Quinoa, corn, tofu, tempeh, spinach, and some veggies. Hey guys, just got back from the gym, took a shower. I hit shoulders and abs today, and it lasted about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Good workout, really sore up here. And I had my shake and a rice cake and some fruit, and now it's time for my about hour later post-workout big meal. This is only round 1. I have about another full one of these heating up in the pot. And this is 1 cup of cooked brown rice, about a cup of black beans, and then a serving of seitan and tempeh with some broccoli and some other greens thrown in here. It is really good. You can spice it up with cumin or black pepper or a curry powder, and it is so delicious. I've spent a lot of time this summer learning about speciesism and watching and reading tons of work from philosophers, ethicists, nutritionists, doctors, and any animal liberation activist that talks about the issue. If you've never heard the term before, I suggest you look it up, watch Speciesism, the movie, but essentially it is the exact same thing as racism or sexism, where one group considers their moral value higher than all other different groups. So it's saying that, if a human being says that a human life is more valuable than the life of a cow, for instance, and it's moral to enslave, abuse, and murder a cow but not a human, that is a speciesist view, because both of those species can feel pain and suffer in equal ways. The only difference is how they look, maybe their level of intelligence, but we wouldn't do that to the human species who are maybe mentally disabled and have less intelligence. So it really is a huge problem, equal to racism, sexism, and here's one of the premier educators on this issue, Steve Best, giving some words about the issue. Now, Dr. Best may seem like a quote-unquote radical to many people listening to this, but really he's making the argument that the modern progressive liberal movement is very far from progressive whatsoever. And he also critiques the current vegan movement, that we're too reductionist, that we're too single-minded in our issues, and that we actually need to expand into all other social justice movements and build bridges together instead of isolating ourselves.
Speciesism arguably is the first hierarchy in history. We built our speciesist identities It's existed for at least 10,000 years from the fundamental opposition between human and non-human animals. We look at the animals and we say they lack reason. They're dumb, brute beasts. They lack reason. They don't have what we have. We're unique. We're special. We began defining ourselves outside the circle of ecology, outside the community of life. As something singular, unique, the crown of creation we define ourselves as. So speciesism, that firm separation of us versus them, human versus non-human animals, and that they exist to serve our purposes, that underpins sexism and racism. And so we find all kinds of problems with left-wing hypocrisy. And if you ever talk to a leftist, it might be over lunch or dinner. They're railing against capitalism, exploitation, the workers, are oppressed, and, the reduction of life value to a commodity. Hey, would you pass me another bucket of chicken wings, please? And they're talking to you, and they're smearing pig grease all over their face, and you're wondering, what the hell is this? How do I get out of this situation? Oh, boy. I've been in that situation so many times. They're munching on KFC, and they're talking about capitalist oppression. We put animals in a category I call the moral basement. We just take them, drag them down here. They lack rationality, so they lack moral value. We can do anything we want to them. They exist for our purposes. At best, we should treat them kindly, but that's usually left out. Now, once you got the moral basement, you got a category for creating hierarchies. You got a category for stripping beings of all moral value. It's quite easy to take women, just like on a computer, right? Just slide them down in there. People of color, slide them into that category too. Colonial subjects, oh, they go in there. The disabled, they go in there. Mentally disturbed, they go in there. Because the category already exists. All you got to do is assign to the next category you want to oppress, the next group of people, women, people of color, African slaves, whatever. You just got to say that they're animals. You just got to say that they lack reason. You just got to say they're not as intelligent as white Europeans. And they go into that category. Similarly, it's been commonly noted that every major war, every major conflict, certainly many, it's a repeating pattern throughout history. The subject that power is seeking to conquer, the subject is always reduced to the status of animals. That makes it easy to dehumanize them and to kill them, to massacre them without conscience. So the enemy is always a rat, a pig, a vermin, cockroach, some kind of animal, dogs, right? And so before sword play, there's always word play. You always have to first denigrate and dispose of your enemy, put them in a moral basement there with animals, call them animals, and then everything. Then there's no holds barred after that. Then you can dispose of them as you like, because the category of speciesism, of beings who have no value because they lack reason or lack the same reason that we superior humans have. One, it's really hard to fathom calling yourself a progressive if you don't understand the moral problem, however you want to deal with it otherwise, the moral problem of killing billions of innocent beings every year, tens of billions every year, and the toll keeps climbing. And if you can't understand that as a moral problem that deserves your attention and your knowledge and your compassion, then I'm sorry, you do not fucking deserve the term progressive. That is regressive. So just get off your throne of hypocrisy and admit that you're not that progressive. Because this is a really serious issue, animal suffering. You know who has the only, you might think this is funny coming from me, who has the only nonviolent ethic of all the social movements? Us. Us, not environmentalists. You can kill animals so long as you preserve the species and the ecosystem. You can kill the individual. There's no value. There's value on the system, not the individual life. We are the only movement that truly has a nonviolent ethic, a universal nonviolent ethic. We bring that gift to the future and to the struggle. We're largely unaware or aware of or indifferent to the plight of oppressed peoples. And hence we have a very narrow vision of the world, very thin politics. You look on people's Facebook pages. Do you see much stuff about the third world, about oppression, about indigenous struggles, about ecological resistance movement? Or is it all just animal stuff and vegan stuff and recipes and pictures of soup? Probably the latter. We wonder why we're so small and marginalized. Just look at your own damn Facebook page, you know? What's on it? Wow, a whole lot of recipes, a lot of animal campaigns, nothing about other people's struggles, nothing about the environment, nothing about resistance movements, nothing about power structures, nothing about Syria, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you're still just abolishing one form of oppression. And what about the others? I say let's not just abolish speciesism or the property status of animals. Let's abolish capitalism. More specifically, let's abolish hierarchical domination in every facet. If we're going to talk about abolition, let's get serious. We want to abolish hierarchical domination, period. Speciesism is one profound aspect of it, but let's not mince our words and let's really fight the fight.
So some really powerful words. I know it may be hard to digest, but I'll put a link to the full video below. Hope you're liking the videos. Comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Much love.